Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about courtship. Now before you freak out, and I know you're freaking out, so please stop, it's not what you think. So courtship, I'm defining courtship as dating with intentionality. So not too scary. So it's not this old-fashioned need a chaperone kind of thing that it sometimes appears to be. Because I'm redefining it, and I think the rest of the world is starting to as well. So intentionality. What's intentionality? It's being deliberate and purposeful. So in this case, deliberate in dating, purposeful in dating, having a purpose for your dating experience. So let's talk about that. What is the purpose of dating? In the world's view, the purpose of dating is to have fun in the now. So as long as the two in a relationship are having fun, and it feels good, it is a good thing. And so maybe it'll go somewhere, maybe it won't, but it doesn't really matter in the end as long as the two people are having fun at that moment. And so that's not what we want dating to be as Catholics. That's not a good way to live out chastity or prudence. So courtship, the purpose of courtship is to get to know the person you're dating, and then discern together as a couple whether or not God may be calling you at some point to marriage. That's it. And so what's discernment? Discernment is prayer. So asking God what He wants you to do. So you can have discernment in things besides your vocation or in a relationship. Discernment of decisions as far as your career goes, or what college you may want to go to, if you should start a job at one place or another, what career you want to go into, if you need to make a change in your life, if there's a new opportunity, whether or not you should take it. And so there's lots of types of discernment, and we can use discernment for many things, but this is one more thing that we can use discernment for. So I want to talk about why someone would choose to court rather than date, in the sense of dating with intentionality is courtship. So we're going to call that courtship from now on, and then dating is worldly dating, where the focus is on fun now, rather than a whole experience. So first and foremost, guarding your heart. Proverbs 4:23 says, "With all vigilance, guard your heart, for in it are the sources of life." I've also seen it said, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. And so our heart is the source. And so it needs to be guarded. You need to guard your heart in your relationship as well as the other person's. The purpose of that is to remind yourself of what the reality is. So are you married? No. You're discerning a relationship that may lead to marriage, but you're not married, and so you may not get married. And that's okay. But it's important for us to guard our hearts so that they don't get hurt. And so even if they have been hurt in the past, God can redeem those hurts because He has redemptive love. And so we need to find our worth in Jesus before we can go searching for another relationship. And that's another reason why courtship is so important, because it puts Christ at the center of the relationship rather than having Him being over here and your relationship over here. It's including Him in that discussion and having Him. So it's not two people, it's three. Chastity is something that we need to grow in relationships because it goes right along with guarding our hearts. That is how we guard our heart, is living out truth in the language of the body and being real with the other person that we're dating. We should also be growing virtue in relationships. So practicing patience, getting to know the other person and serving them, being prudent in the relationships that we have. All of those things are really important to have when we're dating someone or are in a courtship. So remembering that we are discerning marriage, you have not entered into the covenant of marriage yet. Like I said, marriage is a covenant promise between two people that they're giving themselves to each other completely. And so if you have not entered into that as a sacrament, then it's not fruitful to be acting like you have. And so saving things for once you've entered into that covenant is really important. And so that's a good reason why we should take courtship so seriously, It allows us to set up boundaries in our relationships to guard our hearts, and so that we can save marriage for when we're married. So how to court and what it looks like. First of all, being friends first is a really good thing. Not always is this going to be the case, but you should know a little bit about the person before you enter into a courtship or any other kind of relationship. So communication and knowledge of the person is super important in that respect. But also having fun with the other person is important, because if you do enter into marriage, you're going to spend the rest of your life with them. And so it's important for you to be able to get along well in different situations. Another thing that you can do in a courtship is support each other in prayer, action, and word. So pray for each other and with each other. That's a really important part, especially if you're trying to keep Christ at the center of your courtship. Then action. Supporting each other in having boundaries is super important, like I said. And then also serving the other person in small ways can be really helpful as well. Then supporting each other in word, so being affirmative and helping the other person grow, and affirming them when they do, and you see them working towards growing in holiness, is very important in a relationship. I want to say also that it's okay to wait for the person that is meeting your standards. So you shouldn't have a laundry list, maybe, but you should have some key things that are non-negotiables, that are key to having a marriage someday. So whether that's the person has to be Catholic or they need to be growing in holiness, that's up to you. You know what you need in order to enter into a marriage with someone, and God will help you discern those as well. So men and women have specific roles that they take on more easily. And so these are the strengths that they should lean into in a relationship, and especially once they have entered into marriage. So starting to grow in these in small ways can help when you actually do enter into marriage. So the 3 for men are protect, provide, and lead. And the 3 for women are teach, support, and nurture. And so these are just the tendencies of our womanly nature or our masculine nature, right? To lean into these 3 things. And so really cultivating those early on is a great way to prepare your heart for marriage, while still keeping in mind that you're not married and you do need to guard your heart. I hope that this video has been informative and has helped you. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them below. But thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!